Where do I look at into the camera?
Yeah, you can. You look.
Either there or right at the thing.
Now here's the thing. When it comes to these types of podcasts, when you're kind of addressing the audience, you look into the camera. But you can look at each
Look
other.
at each other, right?
Yeah, because it is
Yeah,
like.
just talk naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're doing, it's gonna look like you're trying to like look at the camera. So at least back here, if you want 'em.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Love it.
All right.
Before you start, you have a lot of information on me, don't you?
I got a little bit. Yeah.
So it's not-
you
you
got
got
a
a
lot,
lot.
baby.
Look over here. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Thanks, guys.
You gotta remember, I did this in the '70s.
Yeah.
You wasn't even born. You wasn't thought about.
Nah, I was not a thought. My dad was just. the
Just
beginning
about
of
be
it.
born.
Yeah.
66.
1970 was him. So yeah, he was just a thought. I was not even considered. All right, gents. Everything is recording. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to the Streets of Undefeated podcast. I got my big brother, big guest, Big Douglas Gibson here. You know, he's from the old school, and I just wanted to go through some things and talk to him. He's like a legend of Long Branch. Came up in the old school, the 70s. And that's what I wanted to ask you, like, back in the day, what it was it like in Long Branch, as far as the years of the 70s?
Well, the '70s it was a great time. We had a lot of instrumental bands and singing groups where young people were playing all different types of instruments, and our fashion was good. We didn't have too much communication like they do nowadays. We didn't have cell phones. It was a natural way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Natural way of life. It was calm. Not as much as chaos it exists now. And everybody had fun, and the music they made was more or less like lovable music, not the chaos and crazy music that exists today.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do for recreation? Did you ball or?
Well, I was considered a person that participated in all different types of activities, such as roller skate, bike riding, swimming, dancing. Anything that's, when you're young like that, you have the energy and you just want to try to do anything, a little bit of everything.
Okay, that's it. And as far as Long Branch, is the street you're on? Is it you always lived on your street?
No,
or in that
I
area.
I lived on various streets in Long Branch. We came from South Carolina I was 2 years old, so I came here. It was 1954. My father was in the military, Fort Monmouth, and I was from a military family. We came from South Carolina, Ridgeway, South Carolina. So at that time, blacks didn't have much, and we lived in places for a period of time and then moved, and our family got big. Matter of fact, we had a family of 14.
14. That's what I was going to ask you. How many?
7 sisters, and I had 6 brothers. And we didn't always start off with it just grew. And every time I turned around, my mother was saying, "We have another member."
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. And y'all used to just cool out for fun, just go to the center, or what was the where y'all used to go to dance or whatever?
Well, we had community centers back then. We had a place called the Block Stop, community centers. We did a lot of house. That's where to get the house music from, house parties back then. And there were a few local bars and everything, but we were young. We was in and out the Off-Broadway, Asbury Park. They had the Orchid Lounge. They had the scene in Saraville, the Cave, places like that. And we used to go to New York City, and they had Studio 54 in New York back then. It was a good time to be alive, as far as I'm concerned, as being young. And our activities varies because we used to do a lot of different things, which they don't do nowadays. You don't even see kids hardly outside playing basketball or doing various things,
True. So explain, what was the Block Stop? What was that?
It was a place you go to party, to meet people. It was a gathering. For
Okay.
people in the hood.
I had heard a lot about it, but I didn't know exactly what it was.
It was a gathering.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. And that's the early life. That's the first step towards what you call. And what pulled you into like the street life, the other side, I should say.
I'm glad you asked that question because it's like I've had friends. My friends was me growing up. Our idols were people like pimps, drug dealers, people that gamble, shoot pool, shoot dice, playing cards, cheating, learn how to cheat with cards and stuff like that.
Okay.
But me coming up in a military family, my family was real strict. And I was more or less come from a work-orientated family. And they always inspired me to work, go out and get a job, work. And I used to shine shoes. I did everything. Put packages in people's cars, out the grocery stores, rake yards. I did anything to make money. But it came a time, I seen my friends, and they always had a lot of money. I'm saying, what? They said, man, you waste your time working and stuff like that. And this is some easy money, man. You waste, and I'm looking at all the money they made. So,
Right.
and I'm looking at it was a real glamorous thing to see all these guys around these women selling their bodies, and seemed like the guys with the drug dealers had the women, they had the cars, they wore the
flash.
mink coats, and
Right.
I said, boy, that's exactly what I want to be. So that steered me towards that direction of being a drug dealer.
Okay, that's what's up. And getting to that part, what was the first step you think of your hustle,
selling
when
drugs?
you got to taste it? Yeah,
Oh, of course, it started at lower level, marijuana.
marijuana. So
Yeah, we selling in manila envelopes with it. They used to say, oh, 3 fingers, ounces. Yeah, ounce used to cost $20. And we selling the nickel bags in manila envelopes, and it wasn't like the weed they sell nowadays. Weed you smoke nowadays, you smoke it and you don't remember what you did yesterday.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We had the regular like Panama Red, sesame, Thai stick, and stuff like that.
Right.
And we started off with the marijuana. And then after a while, the money was so-so. But then I got introduced to selling the big stuff, the heroin.
Big stuff. Yeah. And that's where it came in. That's where Superfly came in.
Oh, yeah, the movie Superfly.
Yeah. They said you were Superfly.
Oh, they called me the Shore Superfly because I lived on the shore of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And the police and the authorities and the people in the area called me the Shore Superfly because of the way I dressed and the cars I had and the women and stuff like that. But they called me the Shore Business Superfly because I owned a lot of businesses.
Oh, okay. Few businesses.
Yeah, a few business. I had Ebony Enterprise. We sold swinging beef and computer chips. And I had State Asphalt, which we did driveways, parking lots, and small county roads. And the people I used to deal with were mafia people. They owned like Mike Stravola, Mike Manzo, Madawan. And then, all of them control the pavement business. In other words, I had to buy pavement from them. So I had to buy all my pavement from Mike Stravola out of Middletown, New Jersey.
Wow.
Hmm
Okay. And then it just stepped up. They said you was real organized.
Yeah, well, I had a little business sense, so I controlled state asphalt. I used to have a man that go out and get contracts, and I had men that drive the dump truck. I had dump trucks, cedar wrapper, backhoe, track hoe, and I had those flatbeds to haul the track hoe. And those equipments, and I had a cedar wrapper, which is called a barber green, and it lays 25 tons of blacktop in 3 minutes. And all they do is dump it, and it spreads it, dump it. I had spreader box to do driveways and stuff like that. I had graders, people that grade the blacktop. So I had to keep a lot of jobs in line for the men to do next, because if I didn't, they'll be standing around. I had to pay them for nothing. Then if I lay them off, I might lose them. A lot of them was good men. Dump truck drivers, mat truck. I had fuel truck. I'm known to ride in the fuel truck with a suit on, a greasy suit on, because I was trying to get away from the authorities. They wouldn't inspect me in the fuel truck.
Right. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, they said you was real. You was like really intelligent. They couldn't get their hands on you.
Well, as far as that, they said I was a little fickle-minded, meaning changeable. Like they said I would never stay the same way, so they couldn't get any accuracy on me as far as being able to trap me off, because I never did nothing the same way twice. And back then, like I say, they didn't have too much communication as far as cell phones. Somebody could tell them, well, he's going here now, he's going there. They didn't have all that what they had. I believe if they had all this technology they had now, back then, I wouldn't have been able to float around like I did. But still in all, I didn't chase money too much because money was coming my way.
Right.
With the program here, I did a lot of activity. Like I played drums, and I'll go here, and when I decide to do something, go somewhere and stuff like that, you can offer me money and stuff like that. I'm not going to do it. I just shy away from it. So that's where the accuracy of them trying to get me didn't pay off, because I was too.
It wasn't about the money.
Mm,
That's it. That's it. I think we're gonna have to do a part 2, because we ain't even get to the good part, the real good part. As far as the big segment, they said you was bringing in like, back then. Was it really that much money?
yes.
3 to 5 mil or more?
Well, I had property and stuff worth about that much. When they took me to court, my lawyer was arguing with the U.S. attorney, which was Stephen A. Mills, and the judge was Curtis H. Meaner, and we were in Newark. We didn't go to court in Monmouth County because it was a federal case.
You were federal, okay.
Yeah, and I had money in banks and stuff like that. The federal government took from me. They took houses from me in New Brunswick, Philadelphia. I had places in Perth Amboy, go-go bars like the Encounters in Long Branch. I had various houses, you can live in. But I was buying all this stuff, and my lawyer that was helping me out, he became the assignment judge for Monmouth County, Larry Lawson.
Okay.
He was my lawyer, and Butler was in the office with him. And Butler is now a prosecutor for Long Branch Municipal Court, and they had a place on Main Street in Asbury Park, and that was my lawyer. He helped me get all the real estate, Larry Lawson, and he became the assignment judge. They even tried to take him to court because they said he knew what I was doing and he was down with that. And Larry Lawson got this lawyer named Charlie Frankel, which was a renowned lawyer, white lawyer at that time, to intervene with the federal government, saying, "Look, Larry don't have nothing to do with it." And Charlie Frankel was such a good lawyer, and Larry knew who to get, that they didn't go after Larry.
Oh, okay.
But all the bills and receipts, my lawyer, even when I went to court, he said, "Oh, this looks like a tax case. All these receipts amounting to millions of dollars, with tractor, trailer, dump truck, houses, and the money, the money was there, it was there. As long as you had good product, the money was there."
So what did they get you, like tax evasion too?
No,
No tax.
they didn't get me with tax evasion simply because if they failed in the drug conspiracy case, they would have got me with a tax case. That was coming next.
Wow.
But since they got me with conspiracy, they left the tax case alone.
Wow. So how did it feel when you had went down your first day or going in? Was your mind was set? It didn't jar you? Because you seem like you still there. You still mental. You're clear. You still level headed to this day.
Well, I'll be 74 next month.
God bless you.
I was born in 52.
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn, January 6th.
Okay.
And I've always been an athletic type person.
Yeah.
I did gymnastics in school. They say, "Oh, that's a gay sport." I ain't no damn gay sport.
No.
Try to do iron ring, try to do giant swings, try to do all that vaulting and stuff like that. No, I represent myself when I did those things. In gymnastics, you represent yourself. Then they get an individual score, and then they get a group score, and the highest you can go is a 10. But still in all, yeah, I practice keeping my sanity. I do various things. I like numbers and stuff like that. I do a lot of stuff. I don't write down no appointments. I don't write down nothing.
Really?
I just remember,
I can't remember.
I can remember somebody, if they owed me a year ago, they tried to borrow some money. Said, "Look, you still owe me from last year." How you remember that? Of course. I practice doing that because in case you want to ask me for some money again, I got last year to throw back at you. That you got to pay that first. But a lot of stuff you can exercise. If you exercise the body physically, you got to exercise your mind also. You can't let your mind go to sleep. You got to do various things, and work your mind. But as far as you was asking me about the business. The first day in jail.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back to you said the businesses. How you got big to get the big money.
Well, as I was making the money, it was coming so plentiful. Like people was telling me, "You need to buy real estate. You need to buy that." So I sought out to get.
So you was around just good people, good-minded people. You kept yourself.
Well, most of them was older people that was trying to get. The people that was really involved in the Mexican connection were younger people my age and some a little bit younger, like 2 or 3. At that time, I was 23.
Okay.
Wow. So you had some people like 40 years old back then, 50. People like Joe Turpin, God bless his soul, he died. He was an accountant, certified CPA, certified public accountant. He used to tell me, "Oh, you need to do this." So I followed his lead, because my father died at an early age, and I looked at Joe as like a father image.
Okay. And that's how it went.
No, you was talking about as far as the first day in jail and all that?
Yeah, like when they came at you.
Well, that wasn't my first
you said you was already in.
Yeah, that wasn't my first involvement with the government.
Oh, okay.
Not with the government. Now you got to understand the state and the feds is two different things.
Okay.
The state, the county, and the feds. I had them on the county charge, and being over a friend's house, and I didn't know they were watching my friend's house.
Okay.
And my friend would occasionally come and get cocaine from me and stuff like that, and he'd hold it for me, and if I came over, he'd give me some, stuff like that. And I didn't know that the county detectives was watching this house one day, so I went in there, and they came in there after. I was only in there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and they came up in there. It was like 6 of us in the house. So as soon as I seen the door come over, I have very good street knowledge. I hear the door come on, either the police or the stick-up boys, so I hid in the closet. I'm the only one in the closet, and the police come there, made everybody sit down on the couch. They searching the house, and the apartment, don't see nobody. And I'm hiding in the closet, so they look in the closet, and they looking all around. Nobody says what happened to Doug. So this guy got embalming fluid, marijuana soaked in embalming fluid in his sink.
Yeah, we called that.
And they caught him throwing maybe three something, almost 4 grams of cocaine and some hashies out the window. And they brought it up. And said, Frank, we seen, you threw it. So then they got everybody on the couch and everything. So the county detective just kept looking again. He already looked in the closet. So when he left out the bedroom, I slid the door back, and the closet door back. It had slide doors, and I put the clothes behind me. So when he came in there, the only way he looked in there again, because he thought he didn't look in there before because it was closed. So in his mind, he's saying, "Oh, I didn't look in this closet. Let me look in here. I should have left it open." Then he looked down and he seen my feet at the bottom of the closet. He stuck the gun in and said, "All right, come out." So when I came out, he said, "Oh my God, Mr. Gibson. Oh my God." And he got on the phone, he called up Frank LaCitra. He was the head of the state narcotics in the state of New Jersey, Frank LaCitra. Still remember. He said, "Boss, I got the big fish. I got the big fish." Frank came over. And I was telling the people in there, I said, y'all, you got the right to remain silent. Don't say nothing. They said, "Shut the fuck up." I said, and they said, "Shut up. This is all yours. This is all yours." So they end up giving me 12 to 15 years.
Okay.
For that. I went to court for that.
Okay.
That was the first time I'm going to court.
Ever.
12 to 15 years. And the judge that gave it to me, his name was Judge Akins. My mother used to scrub his floors. He always knew me.
Wow.
So he asked me at the beginning, is it all right I hear the case? He said, I said, "Yeah, I don't think you're going to show no." But he said, when he sentenced me, he found me guilty. They were going to find me not guilty. All they had was me in the closet. But the individual came out. They said, "If you don't have no other witnesses or anything, Mr. Prosecutor, after lunch, we're going to have to throw the case out on Mr. Gibson." So when he came in after lunch, Mr. Franklin Horton turned state evidence, the guy that threw it out the window. He said that I gave it to him, that he got it from a friend named Richie, and that I can come over and get it anytime I want. And he said he gave me a few grams of it, but they never found nothing on me. And they found me guilty of the stuff that he threw out the window. And I got 12 to 15 years. Back then, you can get 12 to 15 years. That means if you go to jail, you do a third of minimum or a third of your max.
Okay.
Before you be considered for parole. So I'm already involved with bringing drugs out of Mexico. I'm already being investigated. But when they got me, they took me, I got sentenced to 12 to 15 years. They took me to Trenton State Prison. I was the youngest one in Trenton State Prison at the time, and it's the first time I've ever been in jail in my life. And they did send me there for punishment. So I'm there with Reuben Hurricane Carter, If you don't know him, the famous boxer.
Yeah.
I'm in there with Frank Lucas, the American gangster Frank Lucas. I'm in there with Quai Wee, Dwight Braxton, the one that fought George Foreman. I'm the youngest one in here, and I'm walking around the yard with people doing now and forever. Double life in 80 years,
Wow.
life in 75 years, triple life,
Wow.
all kinds of stuff. And I had 12 to 15 years, so I didn't have that much time, but you had to have that type of time to go to Trenton at that time. So I was in there with Frank and all of them, Frank Lucas and all this, Shorty Lucas. I was in there with a lot of people that's unalive right now.
Wow, that's not here no more.
hmm
And you still standing. That's what's up.
And the reason how I met Frank Lucas is because he was well known for being a drug dealer in New Jersey. And he said to me, I said to Frank, I hear you're a big time drug dealer. You're from Hackensack, New Jersey. You know, he had all these guys walking around the yard with catering towards him. I said, I need a lawyer, man. They just gave me 12 to 15 years, and I want to appeal it. So he got this guy named Frank, Jeffrey Feldman out of New Brunswick. And he told Jeffrey to get down there and see me real quick. He said, call him and tell him Frank said. So he came down there and see me, and he became my lawyer.
Wow.
And me and Frank became somewhat friends until later on in the future. And while I was in there in the Trenton State Prison, that's when the feds were investigating me.
While you was already locked up.
Right.
See, people don't understand that part.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I got conspiracy.
Got conspiracy while you was already in Trenton.
Yeah, they were investigating me. They caught me with conspiracy.
Wow. That's crazy.
Hey, did you want me to explain that?
Yeah, please.
Conspiracy, that means that you can plan with two or more others, and y'all plan it. Like y'all could draw out something like to rob a bank and stuff like that and have the gun and everything, but you don't rob it. But the conspiracy to rob the bank is just as much time as robbing the bank.
Wow.
So what they did was they went and got my friends that were involved with me that got charged with other stuff, and they got them to testify against me to say they worked for me. And that's what they did. They went to various, it was like so-called people that were involved in the Mexican connection. One guy got sent to jail because somebody OD'd over his house.
Okay.
So he agreed to testify against me as far as working for me. And they had other little charges, and it was about 4 people.
And they got off?
For telling on me, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
They testified against me.
Damn.
If you look my case up, it's called the no powder case.
No powder case?
Yeah, they didn't have no powder. They had conspiracy. They can't use the case no more unless they have powder. My case was the first one to be tried with no drugs, no wiretap, no nothing. Testimony alone.
Wow.
And I was facing 15 years and life and 15 years. I had 3 counts to carry 15 years. Life and 45 years. In other words, 3 counts carry 15 years possession, conspiracy to possess, conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute, and distribution. And I had 1 count at 848. It's called organized crime, and they charged me with that, with 40-something people. Charged me 848. And they said, you're facing life with 45 years. And everybody in my case was facing 45 years.
Wow. So
With no powder, no nothing, no wiretap. Testimony alone. They took us to court.
Wow. Damn.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So what was it like being on top? That's what I want to know.
Well, being on top is glamorous. I mean,
Was it nerve-wracking?
somewhat, I tell people all the time, they said, when you was coming up, I said, well, in life, can't nobody wash your ass or watch your ass better than you. Even though I was doing all that stuff, people was watching over me. But believe me, I was watching over my own self. Because you got to remember, I got kidnapped too.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk. I forgot. Yeah, let's get into that. What happened there? You want to run through it?
Well, one of my workers, dealers, workers, whatever you want to call them, back. They set me up with his brother was a stick-up boy out of Asbury Park, Andrew Hughes, and so Robert Hill knew all, some of my moves, and he knew where my women stayed at, and one of my girls, and so he set it up for me to get kidnapped for money, and so one day I went over to my girl's house. And and she opened the door. I seen sitting on the couch, her and the girlfriend, and my little kids crawling around on the floor. And these guys had on ski masks. I'm thinking some of my boys like, what are y'all doing? Mm-hmm. And they said, nigga, lay down. They're not laying down nothing, you know. They didn't handcuff me or nothing like that.
Right.
So they took the gun from my friend Richie Jones. And they took me out the house department. Mm-hmm. It was 3 of them, and they said, "Where's the keys to the to the Seville?" I'm the first one in Long Ranch had a Seville anyway. But
Okay.
I said, "I don't have no keys. I don't got nothing." So I had an ounce of cocaine on me. I threw it on the ground. They went to pick it up, and they pointed the gun at me like, "Nigga, don't try to run." So they didn't have the keys to the car. They didn't have, because the guy they took the gun from had the keys. Mm-hmm. So they took me. They didn't know what street it was on. They ran down the street. And so when I seen they were disorganized, that's when I decided to get away from them. We ran down the street. They didn't know where we was at. So we stopped in this parking lot, and it was a river in the back of the house. Uh-huh. So they said, look, go get the truck, and we'll wait right here. One guy said, he told the other guy, go get the truck. So the guy went to get the truck, and he came back. He said, look, I can't drive a stick. I said, these guys did not organize.
Right.
So he said, look.
They got you at gunpoint the whole time?
Yeah, they got me at gunpoint with no cuffs on, though.
Okay.
You got to remember, back then, I'm somewhat in shape now, but I was really in tip-top shape back then. So he said, can you two motherfuckers hold them until I get back? Can y'all do that? So he said, we're not going to do nothing until we get back with the truck. He said, then that's when we'll take care of him. I wasn't waiting for that truck to get back. Right. So when he went, they tried to make me lay down on the ground. I wouldn't. So like you facing me now, the guy said, lay down. When he dropped his arm right there, I ran through him like a football player. Uh-huh. And knocked him down. And they started shooting at me, and I could just feel the bullets going by my head like this. I could feel the shots. Right. And I ran in these people's houses, and they were the first aid people, and they were scared to death. They were white people. I said, somebody's trying to kill me. And then Long Branch police came and said, oh, you owe the mafia money from drugs. I said, I don't owe nobody no money. Wow. Come on, Mr. Tyler. Come on, Doug. Tell us why they after you. So the next day, they put that I was abducted, mm-hmm. And that's when the feds said, who's trying to kidnap? So the feds get involved with kidnap. And that's how I got involved with the feds.
Oh, okay.
Being kidnapped. Wow. And they started investigating me.
But you got away.
I got away. And so when I got away, they had cut the telephone wires in my girl's house. When I got away, I said, look, I'm giving out money, I'm giving out drugs, I'm giving out gold, I want to know who these motherfuckers are. So by the end of the day, I knew who was trying to kidnap me before, who was doing. They was telling me so much, I said, I don't need it. And I paid people off, and then the people that did it kept calling me. Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, crying like, please don't believe. They wanted $100,000 for kidnapping me. They threw a glass thing through my mother's window and shot in there. And we opened up the glass and said $100,000, or we're gonna. And that right then I had to stop it. So what I did, I said, if Andrew Hughes called me up, he said, Doug, you don't believe? I said, Andrew, if you didn't do it, man, why are you worrying about it, man?
Right.
And see, because I had people in Newark, Jersey City, and people like in Camden and Newark that I know that they were in your life. Mm-hmm. So Oh, I had people that was going to take the pictures of these guys, and I have people come down and watch them. I have people to find out where they stay at all the time, girlfriend, mother, house, and everything, and give the whole envelope to the ones that's going to do the job. So no matter where they went,
Right.
the party, these guys going to know where they at.
Right.
They're going to keep looking at the pictures like in the orchid. Going to be able to look at the picture, yeah, that's him. Look at the picture, yeah, that's him. Look at him, and they're going to make sure, and they're going to get him.
It's done.
That's why they kept on telling me they know I had the money to do it.
Right.
And they come on saying, it's not me. Now I got away, and they're scared.
Right. Scared to death.
hmm
Wow.
And you know what? After that, a couple of weeks after that, they called me down to the state police barracks in Coast Neck. They called me on the phone. They said, Mr. Gibson, can you come down here? I said, for what? You got a warrant for me? No. I'm not coming down here. We need to talk to you. I said, no, I'm not coming down here. So they said, send a representative. So I sent a representative, Glenn Lane. He came back and he said, Mr. Gibson, he said, Doug, look, let me tell you. They told me to bet not nothing happened to those guys that tried to kidnap you. We know that you know who did it. And bet not, and they said, stay out their way for a month. And they said, if you do anything to them, we're gonna hold you responsible. I said, damn, how they know all that shit? So now these guys in the Asbury Park Press and all these other papers of going in white people's houses and deal and everywhere with carbine guns, taking mink coats, diamond rings and everything. And they were already on them, the state police was already on them for doing all that stuff.
And they won't
I ain't
say
the only one that
Right.
they were doing it to a lot of people, and they were gonna get them anyway. So before the month was out, they got them. They got them.
They
They
were
locked
done.
them. Yeah,
Oh,
they
they-
locked them up. And then 2 weeks later, they got my black ass.
Really?
Yes. So-
Wow. That's a lot. Damn.
Yes. That's how I ended up in Trenton. They got me.
So, Hollywood Ray.
Oh, I gave him that name, Hollywood.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he used to sit out in his convertible car all the time. He was a drug dealer and stuff like that. And I said, man, you look so good, you should be in Hollywood. And they start calling him Hollywood. And I said, man, that's what I'm going to name you, Hollywood. You be sitting out there near that. It was a tally ho, and then it was Exxon gas station. I used to see him around 45 tally ho. And we had various older guys who was selling back then. John McCann, Charlie Walls, Neil Walker, local guys, dealers that would go to New York and see people like Freddie Dino. Back then it was Freddie Dino, and it was, and they used to get Frank Lucas's stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I named him Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I didn't know
Said,
that.
man,
Wow.
you look so. I'm surprised you.
What about was you after Frank Matthews?
Frank Matthews?
Yeah, Matthews, right?
No, Frank Lucas. Frank Matthews is somebody
Different.
Is different. Frank Matthews is the one that he got out of $5 million bill and never seen him no more.
Oh really?
They figured the feds even got him, the mafia got him, or the government killed him.
Wow.
And he used to live about 5 blocks from Rockefeller. He was one of the ones that nobody could do nothing with. You can owe him something like $500,000. He said, "Oh, well, hold on to it until I get to it." And the reason why they discovered him because he was in New York, and they had all these different license plates of at this place where Frank Matthews was. He had meetings with people from all over the state, the country, coming to meet him in St. Louis, Missouri, everywhere, and they would get kilos of heroin,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and they would owe him and stuff like that.
Right.
And the cops seen all these different guns. They said, "Who's this?" And, you know, taking up parking space and everything. They started investigating them, and that's how they came across Frank Matthews.
Okay, Frank Matthews.
There are two
yeah.
different people. Frank
Yeah.
Matthews,
American Gangster
it
is
was
Frank
bigger than Frank Lucas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Okay. That's what's up. How are we on time? We good?
We're just about to hit the 40-minute mark.
Okay, are we good?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay. Yeah.
10, 15 minutes, you're good.
Tell me about what I want to know. Uh, when you was moving, like when you went out, did you have an entourage? How was it?
Yeah, we had women and guys, like 5 or 6 cars,
Okay.
and we used to dress to impress everybody.
Yeah, because
Mm.
they said you was fly. They said you was fly. You had like 2 Cadillacs or something like that.
But you never
Say
see no
fly.
money with us though.
Oh, okay.
We didn't spend money across the counter.
Oh, okay.
Like we went to Orchid, like it'd be a person like you would be designated to get drinks
Uh-huh.
for everybody. They order a drink, all right, and they put it on the bill. We paid at the end.
Look at that. Wow.
We
Okay.
paid at the end. So if
Okay.
you was with me and you was part of the,
You were good.
you can buy this person a drink, buy yourself a drink, send that person a drink, and it all came at the end. We paid the owner. He knew it.
Wow.
They just mark it down, you know.
They said life was good.
Yeah, we
Before
didn't. You didn't see no money.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's something, man.
And speaking of money, it was hard. With the money coming in, it didn't have those counters back then. It took me hours sometimes counting money. I used to put my hands in water and count money. So one stick, put my hands in water and count money.
Wow, took that long.
Took the ones, throw them to the side. Yeah,
Yeah.
we partied, and the women back then they would carry the guns and stuff.
Okay, so yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
Smooth.
Yeah,
Smooth.
and the women they would dress to impress the women.
I heard.
And we didn't argue with. We
Right.
let the women talk to whoever they want to. But
Right.
they leaving with us.
Don't
There's
matter.
no argument who would. And guys used to love. They come there, and then the women used to come to the bar, talk to some of the guys because we had on suits,
Mhm.
and everybody looked good, and everybody could order you a drink. Anybody in our
That's
group can do practically anything. So we didn't have no problem. But when we left, those women would leave. They bye. They said the guys.
a little height.
Yeah, thought they were taking them home. Now they going with us.
That's what's up.
The Wilson girls out of Asbury Park.
I remember you saying something about them. Yeah.
Sharon, Donna Wilson, Candy. It was, and other women too. It was. We had Stewie Mills. Remember him?
You know that name. That name sounds familiar. I remember Donnie. You said Donnie was around you.
Donnie Richardson.
Yeah. I remember
Donnie
him.
Richardson, Leroy Richardson. You gotta remember, it was like 100 and something of us throughout the state. There was 100 and something of us, but they indicted like 44 of us.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
They could have indicted way more than that.
Mm-hmm. Way more than that.
But the government witnesses didn't know some of the people.
Mm.
They.
Wow. Man, that's something, man.
I one time called them stool pigeons, and I was corrected by
You said in
Judge.
the courthouse?
Yes, I said no. See, I took a plea in the federal court I took a plea guilty to cut everybody else loose.
Okay.
They asked me, like the prosecutor attorney Stephen Mills said, look, he told my lawyer, look, my lawyer didn't act like he wasn't that enthused on the duration of the trial because the trial was lasting a long time. So I took a plea and I said, all these individuals involved in this case, sister, brother, cousin, girlfriend, friends, they ain't have no idea what I'm doing. Like one girl had like 6 cars in my name, Rose Rita. Then there's women that they claim used to cut the dope, bag the dope. He was a money counter. He took the money to the bank for changing for large bills. This person would deliver packages to this person. This was he was control of 10 people. This person was control of 15 people, like that.
Okay.
That's what all the testimony was about in the conspiracy case. But I said none of them did none of that. They were mainly after me. They didn't have no wiretaps. They didn't have no drugs. There was no powder. So they had to rely on the government witnesses to if they were believable that these people did all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
So when I took the plea, I pleaded guilty, And I said, none of these individuals did none of that stuff. So the judge said, well, who did you conspire with then? Because you got to conspire with somebody, Mr. Gibson. We're not letting you plead guilty unless you say who you conspire with. Well, I conspired with these stool pigeons, the ones that said I did all that stuff. You know, Richie Jones, Glenn Lane, Booty Hill, Robert Hill, Lamar Drinks, and this other girl named Nancy Whitley. I said, I conspired with them, the stool pigeons.
Right.
He said, Mr. Gibson, let me tell you something. This is the United States federal court. We don't have stool pigeons here. We have government witnesses.
Wow.
And I want you to acknowledge that they are government witnesses. That's why I say government witnesses now.
Government witnesses, ladies and gentlemen. Government witnesses. When is this? 1970? 73. Wow. It don't get no better. It don't get no better, man. Wow.
So they took us to court for, you know, they every day in and out that Newark courtroom from
How long
New
did that
York.
last, your trial?
Their trial lasted about, 4 weeks. And they cut 5 loose one day, 6 loose in one day.
Oh, okay.
Like that in individuals. Until they all got found not guilty.
Okay. Wow.
And then
You was the last man standing.
And then the U.S. Attorney, Stephen Mills, put in the newspaper, we were happy just to get Mr. Gibson.
Wow.
Like that. We were happy to get him.
Just wanted.
And that's why they had the case, it's called the no powder case, because they didn't have no powder in the case. And they said they'll never have a case like that again because too many people got found not guilty and they didn't have no solid evidence against nobody, no wiretap, no drugs, no nothing.
Okay.
Just everything on me, like bills and receipts totaling $3 or $4 million, and
Right.
that's about it.
Wow.
And testimony.
And testimony. That's about it. Wow, man. You know, I'm going to need a co-host to do this podcast.
Who?
I'm going to need a co-host. I might need you come up here every once in a while. Help me out.
Okay.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we
I
got to
didn't-
get that book going. We got to get that book and that screenplay.
I didn't went to every federal prison practically in the United States.
Yeah, I didn't get into that. You was telling me about that the other day. The federal, what's the places?
Like I told you, I did the 12 to 15 in New Jersey, but you do a minimum, you a third of the minimum, a third of the max. A third of 12 is 4, and a third of the max, 15, is 5. So I got Judge Curtis Meena sentenced me to 15 years in federal prison, $100,000 fine, 10 years special parole. And he said, you go back and do New Jersey time first, and then you start on mine. That's why I did so much time.
Oh,
I did
okay.
4 years in Trenton. Christopher Deeks said, I don't know what you did. The whole federal government, he was in charge, Christopher Deeks of the New Jersey Parole Board. But I'm going to parole you to the feds. And I did 4 years of the minimum, 12. He said, you owe the federal government $100,000, 10 years special parole, and 15 years. I'm paroling you to that. So when they paroled me to that, I went to MCC in New York, and I was there for about 2 weeks. And I seen my name come up on thing. I'm thinking I'm going to like a FCI, Federal Correction Institute. Nope. Back to another penitentiary. Lewisburg. That's where I went to. I was in Lewisburg. I never been to no institution, just federal prisons.
And the year was of Lewisburg. What year was that? 73, 74?
Like 75, something like that. I was in there. Lewisburg. No, I had to do Trenton time first.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I went to the feds.
Then you went to the feds.
Yeah.
And you said they kept moving you?
Yeah, they moved me from Lewisburg to Lewisburg was dangerous, man. It was.
Yeah, I heard you ain't
Yeah,
out of there.
yeah.
Terre Haute. You said you was in Indiana?
I was in Terre Haute.
Terre Haute. I got the name wrong. I heard that was rough.
And because in the
said
feds,
you
I'm
might
telling you
not
like
come
that,
home
you
from
don't have people that's doing mediocre crimes in the feds. You don't have them doing B and E's and snatching pocketbooks. In the feds, you got people that there's bank robbers, counterfeiters, Teamster Union, people from Iraq, Iran, Russian spies, terrorists,
white collar cases.
and you got people from Nigeria bringing in. You got people from China bringing in China rock. People from Nigeria. I seen a person that looked like Joe Frazier in there. I said, "Damn, that look at it. He was from Nigeria though. He was sitting at the table." And you know, and the feds, you know, they move you around. It's called stagnation because they didn't realize that mostly everybody in the feds, because you're in the feds don't mean you ain't got no money now.
Right.
Some people be in the feds and they have 10, 15, 20 million dollars and they can't afford you to pay a federal officer to try to help them escape.
Okay.
And so they move you around. You don't never know when you're going to get airlifted.
Oh,
You know.
so you flying?
Oh yeah, they sent me to Terre Haute. I've been to Terre Haute, Indiana, Petersburg, Virginia. I went to Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, Otisville, New York, Raybrook, New York. You know, and they just move you. They move you. They don't tell you. By the time your mail catch up with you, it's antique.
Yeah, but you saying that.
They
You
move
said
you around like a
people
chess
might be
piece.
gone by the time.
When I
you
was
get
in
to jail.
Otisville, they said we were going to chow, and they said and the doctors, I mean the hospital was over to the right. You know, like damn, why they got so much security? Oh, Leroy Nicky Bonds is over there. What? Leroy's up there. He's going to get a facial, and he that's why they got so much security. So
Oh,
they
'cause
were
he
they were
ratted.
moving him around, and the stop was Otisville, New York. They stopped there on the airlift, and then the morning time he was gonna fly out there, and he was gonna go to Oklahoma and get a facelift, a facial,
Yeah.
a facial, so you won't know where he
Oh,
was.
it was.
Hmm
So that is real.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah,
Wow. See,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, that stuff is real.
There you go.
You know,
Which
yeah.
one you think was the roughest that you was in prison?
I said Terre Haute.
Terre Haute is the
Yeah.
roughest. Yeah,
Mhm.
they say you might not come home. I think Little Melvin from Baltimore was talking about
Well,
that.
you know what? The people from Baltimore and Washington, they outnumber the people that's in the whole in federal system only because they don't have no state prison.
Yes, right. DC
And if
is
you
a-
get caught
yeah.
with a mediocre charge, you're going to the feds.
Feds, yeah.
So they're low class criminals. They just get into everything. And we can't deal with them. New York, Philadelphia, and Connecticut, and New Jersey, we all had to stick together against the Baltimore and Washington people.
Wow.
That's how it went.
That's how it went
You're
down.
right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They'll say we from the nation's capital. We from the red district, and we didn't care where you're from. We had to stick together. Called Tri-State.
Okay.
Tri-State. We had to stick together because there was too many of them,
Damn.
and they do anything.
Really?
Yeah, they steal from you, borrow money, bet on games, and don't want to pay you, mess with, gay people, and they did all kinds of stuff, and they'll stab you and talk nasty to you, and
Right.
all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot,
I'm sure you have. Wow.
and practically all the people that I'm talking about are deceased. They're
Wow.
dying.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, you look so young for your age," and stuff like
You
that.
do, man. You look
Yeah.
real good.
You know.
You look real
And they
good.
say, mentally, you
man.
seem like you sound. I'm like, man, you know one
You
thing?
don't know what I've been through.
I in the fight of my life,
Man, yeah.
And I tell people nowadays, if what I know now is different from before because it's not the amount of money that you got in your pocket. Your health is definitely your wealth.
Hold on. Say
more
one
help.
more time. One more time. Say that so the young folks will hear you.
Oh, the money, you might run after it after a while, but then once you get my age, and before you get my age, your health is definitely your wealth. The more healthy you are, the more wealthy you are.
Right.
Because I've seen people, billionaires, millionaires, they be rich, they got all kinds of money, real estate, stocks, bonds, everything, but they being pushed around in a wheelchair every day with tubes running up and down their nose,
Wow.
and they wake up miserable every day, but they're rich.
Rich, right.
Financially, they're rich.
Right.
And here you got a guy that's maybe working 9 to 5, paying his bills, being able to be with a nice young lady, got the kids eating, and he's healthy, real healthy. So who you think is more healthier? I would rather be that guy that working that 9 to 5.
That's right.
I don't want to wake up miserable every day. Somebody changing my Pampers,
Right.
tubes running down my nose and push. Your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
The more healthy you are, the more wealthy you are. I can care less. As long as I'm making it, I can care less about that money now.
Care less about it.
Care less.
What's a gem that you would give like these young kids running around and thinking they that and this?
Jim?
No, the young kids, just the young
Oh.
kids. Period. I'm saying, what jewel would you give them? Something that you would give
Well,
them.
first of all, they got a lot of jewels. They just don't discover it because, first of all, they might be smoking marijuana. I don't drink. I used to drink. I used to sniff cocaine, and I did all that. But it's just that I don't do it today.
Right.
You know, I drink black coffee, and that's it. I don't even put no sugar in. Sugar is number one drug. You know, the more sugar you use, the more it stunts everything.
Yeah.
So I suggest that, you know, if you can slowly separate yourself from any narcotic mood-altering drugs, marijuana and all that stuff, it just makes you dream, and you can't really make your dreams come true. You got a lot of jewels. You just don't know. You might be able to write. You might be able to sing. You might be able to take care of older people. You know, everybody got different jewels. You know, like I might not be able to take care of elderly people, but you got some people that can.
Right.
You know, you got some people that's good in math. You got people that can draw. You got people that like to take care of animals. You got to find out what you like in life and let that be your drug. Because as you get older, it's not going to be funny.
Right.
Your backs and stuff is going to start hurting, arms, like, and you're going to be worried in your mind. You're going to like, oh, and you're chasing money, chasing things when you should be chasing yourself. Chasing your own well-being, physically and mentally. You know, you should just be self. We came in this world alone. We're going to leave alone. Concentrate on self first. You can't help nobody until you help yourself.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
There it is. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Douglas Gibson, and me, B-Star, your host, and I think this is a wrap.
There you go.
Okay.